my friends. Welcome to Conversations with Arundhati. Bite-sized episodes for busy people who want to learn about staying healthy, life hacks, endometriosis and women's health from me and other experts in the field. I also will be sharing fun snippets from my life as I learn and unlearn about life in general. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode. How is everyone feeling today? Today is an endometriosis specific episode, but it can also be used by anyone struggling with a chronic illness or disability. So we all know that dealing with chores and responsibilities, so I call these adult homework, can be challenging, right, when we are struggling with endometriosis because the symptoms are quite unpredictable. And if you are suffering from chronic fatigue or severe endo flare, doing even the smallest thing can be almost impossible. But before going any further, let me tell you that you are not alone and that it is completely okay if you are not able to do any of your responsibilities. You are still worthy and you are still valuable to society. Because I know personally how these restrictions can affect mentally. So please know you were not alone. So years back, right, I actually struggled quite a bit in helping around the house. I also had severe carpal tunnel. Something now I'm starting to learn that it is not only a repetitive usage, but it's also hormone related. Did you know? So that's a side note. Anyway, thankfully, my husband took over everything. And bless his heart, he never made me feel bad. But regardless, I did not feel that great. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I was not feeling great. I was feeling kind of useless. And it's not a great space to be mentally, right? But over time, as I started to feel better and once I was kind of having endometriosis under control, I figured out a method that would help me pull my weight around the house, but also while being mindful of my health and not straining myself. So it really is a fine line. But I honestly feel so much happier knowing that I too am helping out the best way I can, and it has improved my self-worth drastically. Anyway, especially the last 3 years or so, I have been getting stronger every year, and I feel that I'm doing much more than before, which is good news. But if you are not able to do anything, it's completely fine. Please know that. I'm sharing this for anyone who is capable physically in small ways. So hear me out again. Those two words are really important. Capable and small ways. Okay? So today I'm sharing 6 tips to help you do this adult homework in life. But of course, honor your body and see what works for you. Tip number 1. Plan your tasks ahead. Like way ahead. So for example, I put them in my diary, and sometimes I arrange the room one day, dust my room and sweep it the next. Then I keep the tools for the mopping all ready to go, and I do the mopping the next day. So I don't do all of them together. I also make sure that I don't do these before a big day, like if I have a wedding or I have my yoga classes, etc. I suggest you keep also the windows open or like get a good flow of air coming in and going. That can help you reduce the fatigue. And please plan a backup. That's what I meant, plan way ahead. Because there are going to be days that you may not able to follow through. And that's okay too. But I make sure that we are not going to have visitors over or anything that would be affected by my failure to complete the task. So that's what I meant by planning ahead, right? So tip number 2, break your tasks into mini doable steps. So like I mentioned before, I don't do the full house in one go. I know that is what others do. So I'm using air quotes for others do. But we have to work with what we have while honoring our path. So I do each room on a different day, and say I have to cook. I cut them one day ahead and then I do the cooking the next. So see what works for you. Tip number 3. Mindset check regularly to tell you're doing your best and stop striving for perfection. So have a little pep talk ahead before you start your chores and then while doing it and after. Because don't try to overwhelm yourself and trigger a flare. We don't want any of that, right? So tell yourself if you can't, it's okay to stop, and don't strive for your chores to be done perfectly. Find what is acceptable to you and be okay with that. Step number 4, play music you like, or like a podcast. Because when you feel better, you can do better. So what I do, I play them loud. So play whatever your jam is, right? It makes you focus on something that is enjoyable and you can do the tasks a little easier. Tip number 5, take breaks in between. I always just sit on the floor after a few minutes, rest, drink water, then move to the next. You don't want to be stuck on the couch the next day or the next week, right? So we don't want any triggers of endo flares starting over. Step number 6. I apologize if any of you are also hearing little bakery cart going over close to my house. I hope that is not bothering. So tip number 6, keep the line of communication open and don't expect the big thank yous. Communicate your plan to others so they know the time frame, and ask if you need help and don't expect big thank yous. So what I mean here is Yashok always appreciated me, thankfully. He actually prefers if I don't do the work because he's scared that I would get sick. But I invite you to take the time to appreciate your efforts, even if others don't appreciate you. Because when you really think about it, others don't even understand how big our achievements are, even though it may have just been one room, one cupboard. And don't hold it against them, but you need to take the time to appreciate your effort. I do hope that you found some value from this episode, and please do share it with someone who might find value from this. And please do share any tips that you know of your own so I can share with the community. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you on Thursday for my wellness episode, and again next Tuesday for yet another endometriosis episode. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Have a blessed day.